What's up, my crypto legends? The price of Bitcoin managed to hold very nicely the $34,600, getting that rise above $35,500, something that we mentioned in yesterday's video update. This is also a setup that we talked about in the Legends community. Of course, taking a look at that possibility of a day trade here to manage risk very well and looking for that claim above 35,500 playing out very nicely. If you want to join the Legends community for those daily updates on Bitcoin and setups with me and the rest of the coaches, you got the fourth link in the description here to join here, the Legends community. Now, most importantly, we know how to realize whether there is support or whether there is resistance and take those trading opportunities. It was pretty obvious that this 35,500, we were building up massive liquidity at that level. Now, there's not much liquidity above 36K. So are we going to come down to the next liquidity at $34,000? We need to realize that we are still in an uptrend. So in this episode, what we're going to talk about is the highest probability levels and what we need to see on the chart to take a possible trading setup. So make sure to stay tuned because we also taking a look at the S&P 500. I'm going to explain here how this level is massive resistance and what we need to see to take a look at the next trading opportunity. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode, guys. Before we go through the major levels and what I'm looking for here for Bitcoin, if you are struggling to find one of the best crypto exchanges to trade on, my best suggestion here is Bybit. Been trading here for over 4 years and it's the greatest interface and it has the best deposit bonus available out there. Up to $30,000 can be claimed here as a deposit bonus. Been trading there for over 4 years. If you are having problems to trade on Bybit because you live in a restricted area, of course, there are other options such as MEXC. This is the one that I am using currently and it has the lowest fees. So it's a great alternative from Bybit. $20,000 deposit bonus as well available on MEXC with the links in the description. Now diving in here through Bitcoin, we can see that we had that huge, massive rise. This was explained on yesterday's video, how there was a lot of liquidity here above 35,500 and we were still continuing higher low support. So it's not really a level to be extremely bearish at the lows here at the support, looking for the possibility of that rise to claim a bunch of liquidity that was sitting above 35,500. What we did understand, of course, that maybe after claiming that liquidity, you could get that volatility here and then get a pretty decent pullback. We talked about a harmonic pattern here, all right, overextending a little bit from the 7/8 Fibonacci, but overall where we got rejected was here on Bybit at the back test of the highs here from the 24th of October. So what happened here was a swing failure pattern, right, a kind of a double top, and then you get this rise to back test the level and get the rejection. Now this is not looking too great. It does look like it is a little bit bearish. There is something disturbing, of course. Why didn't we rise all the way up here to these highs? Okay, here on Bybit, we were just about $150 away from hitting the highs. Isn't this disturbing? We are still creating higher lows. Will we manage to hit these highs in the next coming days? Well, of course, that is definitely an option. I really do not know. Maybe we're going to drop down from here or move up. However, whatever happens, I am ready with some levels to trade. And that is obviously hitting the highs here on Bybit above $36,100 and creating that failed breakout. Something very similar that happened right over here. That is definitely a possibility. So on higher time frames, we need to be ready for that level. I know it is boring. I know we want to trade inside of the ranges. We're going to talk about some possible levels here and setups. But if you want those more daily updates for those scalping opportunities, day trading opportunities, you have to join the Legends community. I do spend many hours a day updating and giving the possible scenarios. So higher time frame, very important level here. Are we going to manage to successfully break out from this level or create a huge massive liquidity grab, rejection, and then come down to $34,000. This is definitely a swing trade level. If we do see the rejection, very important to understand that we want to get into the rejection. We had a weekly naked point of control. We're not trading above it. If you're having a short attempt, it needs to be as you reject from the level. So important to hit the level, not short as you're pumping, short as you starting the rejection here, and manage your risk very well with your stop losses, because this trade could be absolutely massive. Something to take into consideration here for the next coming days if we were to test the highs, okay? So these are higher time frame levels. Now, what is the higher time frame bullish scenario? It's going to be very difficult because you have a series of higher lows. And when you start breaking here, the higher lows, the drop can be very aggressive. And the main reason why is you have a huge amount of buy stops here getting triggered, creating a possible cascade. So we want to be extremely cautious if we want to long a support level as you break the higher low structure. I can talk about which two of the levels are the most strongest here on the higher time frame. It is the point of control of the range and the value area low of this trading zone as well. So we know that this level has been supported very nicely here, as you can see on the chart. Now, if you were to come all the way down and claim these lows, you have a possible instant bounce from that level because it is strong support. We could see it right over here, and we can see here not even touching it. Very much detecting yesterday this choppy action, so we got that massive recovery here. Very much aware of that scenario in the Legends community. So just be ready for this zone. This is huge support. This could be just a liquidity grab and you're going to get a significant bounce. Something to be ready. We're going to talk about more internal levels here in just 1 minute. But just in case you start getting that cascade, just be ready because these movements happen very fast and you need to be ready with a trading plan to take action. If you don't have any trading plan, you're just going to be trading randomly and you could get absolutely wrecked. I have very clear my trading plan here on higher time frame. How are we going to test this high? Will it reject? How are we going to test the point of control and these lows over here? I am ready for that level to take action. If we slice through the level, I will no longer be interested in longing that scenario. There is a better level here that we've been waiting for days, which is the daily level, value area low of the range, and sweeping up all of these lows here for that possible quick bounce, which will likely come all the way up to at least the point of control. You got a really nice move of $500 to $600 here potentially if you're ready for this. Not longing the drop, you're longing here the recovery as you turn around. Very importantly, you're always managing risk very well with your stop losses. So that is the higher time frame scenarios in the nutshell. What we need to understand now, zooming in here on lower time frames such as the 15-minute time frame, what we can see here after this major pump that we back tested that high from the 24th of October, back testing the swing failure pattern level, big rejection from that point, getting this consolidation reaction, okay, to the downside. Now we are still bullish. The volume is still high. The impulsive moves are still to the upside, and we need to recognize that. We actually see that it's pretty obvious that we are in a bullish market. So if you are attempting any shorts, they need to be at very high levels, such as here on the rejection from that high on the 24th of October. So what is next here? We do have a little bit of resistance here. As you can see, there is a possibility of a formation of an inverted head and shoulder here locally. You can see how the price is forming this low right over here, and now we're forming this low over here. So there is a possibility of a breakout here to the upside. Very interestingly enough, with the most important Fibonacci level is the 618 Fibonacci from this pivot high to the pivot low. That could be a target zone. When we do see the inverted head and shoulder target here from this move, this could take us round about to the 618 Fibonacci. Very important level for a possible rejection. We can see here clear consolidation, lower high, where you could get rejected. I will be paying close attention to this level in the next coming hours. It's the clearest level that I do see here available on higher time frames here for a possible rejection. Now, usually you do create three wave structures in a corrective move. So what I'm understanding from this massive impulse, that this could be 1, 2, and then 3 down here to eat up these lows. Something to pay attention. If you're shorting from here, this is your target zone. We have to see a consolidation. We have to see double tops. We have to get in at the highest level possible, managing risk, guys, because it can be very complex, shorting or longing a 618 Fibonacci. You could just basically slice through the level, and people that do not have risk management could struggle very much and lose some high capital here on this move. So manage risk very well, be very selective, and place your stop losses, guys. Very important to defend your capital when you're trading so you can make profits every single month. It's not all about one trade in the day. Be very cautious. Now, on the other side, what happens if we do not manage to break here this big resistance level, which is the daily open and the previous day point of control? We are struggling very much to break out of it. There is a chance, of course, another chance in trying to break out from this level. But what happens if it fails and we start moving down? Well, obviously, the 618 Fibonacci from this pivot low from the pump of yesterday is an interesting zone where I would be looking at. This will not be an easy trade decision, as we could be slicing through very aggressively. This is a moment where we need to be patient and we need to wait for that beautiful price action, double bottom scenarios to get in at the lowest level possible. This is the easiest explanation that I could give you. Just like here, as we were retracing to previous day equilibrium, which is the 50% Fibonacci, hitting that low right there and getting finally that double bottom. Sam, actually one of the coaches, did provide a long setup right there, realizing that we were hitting here the double bottom, having a swing failure pattern, and a good long attempt. So we want that beautiful price action. Double bottoms and double tops are the best, okay, for the trading opportunities and getting into some trading setups. Now, that is basically it locally here for the price of Bitcoin. There's not much more to say here in this range. We are going to dive in right away into the S&P 500. It is struggling with a resistance zone here for the last few days. Why is this such a strong resistance? Not much has happened since yesterday's update. We're still at the level, but we are consolidating an attempt to break. The strongest resistance is there. Which is the strongest resistance for anybody that was not paying attention here on yesterday's video. And by the way, if you are interested in trading S&P 500, stocks, indices, Forex, best option is BingX. They have got a great bonus down below of $5,000, and you can trade stocks, crypto, all sorts here by using cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or US dollar Tether if you wish. They have a huge amount of different assets that you can trade with crypto. You've got a great bonus with the link down below as well on BingX, guys, for anybody that wants to trade stocks using crypto. No KYC required. So just an email and a password, you're signing up. So diving in here through the S&P 500, let me give you that brief explanation on what we want to see here. Looking at the VPVR, okay, we do have this resistance zone here, exactly where we at the 4,400 points. Now, we could be having some attempts in trying to break out this resistance. Now, where we need to break out for this to have continuation to the upside, we are testing here the higher low support trend line, getting that reaction here during the last few days. It is still looking good. We are creating higher highs here on the lower time frames. But the level that needs to be broken that could reject as well for a possible shorting opportunity is this high here from the 12th of October. Zooming in on the lower time frames, we can see that that is also this neckline, providing a lot of support right over here, as you can see on the chart. So we need to be aware of that zone. Now, what could be a failed breakout is testing the highs here from the 12th of October and rejecting from that level. This would be a classic swing failure pattern, hitting massive resistance. If the volume is going to be very low on the attempt here of that breakout, we can see volume actually being higher on the impulsive move to the downside. Look at this spike here on this movement down, and volume on this bounce being very kind of corrective, losing volume here as we're rising. So we can understand that the trend here for the last few weeks is actually to the downside, and it will have to need a lot of power to break above this level. So stay aware if we do hit this level and reject from it, closing here 1 hourly candle beneath the level, it is possible that this could be the top and we're going to start rejecting here in the coming weeks. Something to pay attention. If that candlestick in the next coming days is going to be massive and you're blasting through the level, it is likely that we are going to see bullish continuation for the S&P 500, and it's likely to hit here the highs from July at 4,630 points. Something to be aware, if we break above this level solidly, continuation to the upside is the highest probability here on the S&P 500. Guys, thank you very much for joining this update. If you haven't seen my Bybit tutorial to learn how to trade on that crypto exchange, check it out, guys. Extreme good tutorial in 22 minutes so you can learn how to trade there. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.